brothers, explain to me, how do you feel that the woman is good enough for you to have sex with, but she's not good enough for you to marry? Let's talk about that. I want to get into a topic here to follow up on a conversation that I had with a young man just recently. And I had saw where that he would come by every now and then to do some work at my home. And I saw where he had a car seat in his car. And I asked him, I said, well, oh, you have a child? So he says to me, well, not really, not necessarily. So I said, well, how do you explain that? So he says to me, he said, well, I have one on the way. So I said, well, okay, that's good, man. So then I said to him, now, to tell you the truth, that I kind of remember a previous conversation that we had, and my understanding that he didn't have any children or he wasn't dating, however you want to put it. Well, anyway. So anyway, this particular day, he said he did have a child by a young lady, then of course, So I asked him, I said, well, are you married? So he said, well, no. I said, well, are you dating? That was the first thing I asked him. I said, well, are you dating? And he said, no. I said, well, are you married? So he said, no, but I can't do it right now. And I don't want to take words out of his mouth or put words in his mouth. But the logistics of it was that he said that he did not want to get married to her because he felt like he was being forced, that he felt like he was being pressured. So I said to him, I said, well, wait a minute now. Look, you don't want to get married, but you can have sex with her. You okay with that by having sex with her? So he kind of gave me this look on his face. I ain't had nothing to do with that. I said, but you knew, but you want the body, but you don't love her enough or don't appreciate her enough or value her enough to want to get married to her. Something wrong with that. No, we can't do that there. I said, so now, all of a sudden, now you got a child. So he has something to say about that. Well, now, I didn't expect her to get pregnant. I said, well, what you expect to happen? Do you already know what the consequences of once a man and a woman come together with sexual intercourse? This be real because this is an adult channel. What do you expect to happen? I don't care if you don't. You know what I mean? Listen, it's the possibility of you impregnating her is there, and it is always there, okay? Even it's just bound to happen. But yet still, okay, so you think enough of her, you value her only to the point, okay, to get her body, to be satisfied by her, but you don't value her enough to marry her. Somebody please explain to me why. So we got on this conversation, we back and forth and what have you. So he called me a couple of days later because, based on the conversation we had. So he called me a couple of days later and said, well, hey, listen, we need to talk. I said, well, okay, fine. What's going on? Well, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Well, it's not going to work. Well, her and I are getting married. I said, well, look, why is that? So he started saying all these different things as to why. I said, well, to tell you the truth now, you got to understand now, you have a baby on the way. You have to be committed to that baby. Now, I'm going to say something that some of you may not agree with me on. And that is this here. Look, let's just be real, okay? If you value, brother, let me talk to the men. If that woman is hot enough, fine enough, desirable enough for you to sit down, for you to lay down, or however you want to do it. I think they do it sitting too, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep it real. Okay? And have a sexual intercourse with her. To take her body, if you ask me, one of the most precious things about a woman that she really should hold in high esteem about herself, okay, as a woman, listen, I'm not gonna lay down my body with just any Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes along just because I need to be satisfied. I'm not buying those stories that they tell me how much they love me. No, you gotta prove it. Now, it was an interesting conversation that we had even reference to that, of the trend that's going on right now. And I'm going to look more into it, that most women right now, they say, well, if you want to date me, okay, well, you have to pay my bills. You have to buy me this ring. You have to give me $3,000. I don't know if that's the trend, but that's what I'm hearing that's going on. But anyway, that's for another video. But yesterday we had this conversation, to go back to the young man. We conversating and we're talking. I'm like, basically, I'm just talking to him like, bro, you don't want to make this mistake. I say, so if you don't marry her and you decide to go on your way and she decided to go on her way and there's a child involved, one thing you have to keep in mind that you are establishing a generational curse that not only affects your life, but it affects the life of that child, and then it will affect the life of that child's child later on down the line. And this is what I was sharing with him. Look, you don't want to do this here because all it does is make life hard and hard and harder. Now, I'm not saying that a lot of us don't succeed or have not succeeded, because we have. We have overcome. We have succeeded, and that's great. Look, man, number one, we got to stop having sex with women that we don't intend to marry. And I'm just going to give it to you just like that. We got to stop having sex with women who end up getting pregnant and having babies that you don't want to take care of. We got to stop that. Listen, put an end to it. We have enough. We have enough children being born into single family homes. 75% is the percentage right now. It's going rate of homes of children of single parent homes that children are born into that the woman is the head of household. No, bro, get in your place, man. Get in your place. If you have no intent on marrying her, or she has no intent in marrying you, don't have sex. Don't procreate a child. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? We are hurting our children, fathers, when we allow them to come into this earth. Okay, they come in this earth, they're born, they're conceived by our seed. Their mother carried them for the 9 months, and they are born into this world, and you are not there to do your part, okay? And listen, ladies, mothers, stop raising Cain with that man. Just because you don't like him anymore, number one, you should have never did it, but then I'm not saying that all marriages, I'm not going to say, I'm going to say this about marriages. First of all, you need to take your time, make sure you're marrying the right person, okay? You need to make sure that you're compatible, because it's all about you understanding compatibility. It is not what you think, okay? Maybe I'll do another video on that. It's not when you're talking about being compatible, it's not what you think it is. It's not about you all liking the same thing, you having a favorite color, or you both like to watch sports. It's not about that. See, it's much deeper than that. But again, I say that for another video. But look, let's do this thing right. And I'm gonna again, okay? Mr. Nelson gonna say it. A father's note is gonna say it one more time. Listen, if you don't intend on marrying that woman, man, stop having babies by her. Okay? If you don't intend on marrying that woman and taking care of her for the rest of your life, okay? No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I wish God I had done it right, but I didn't. Because of my experiences of not doing it right, I can tell you the benefit of doing it right. You won't go through a lot of things that I have experienced in my lifetime over the past 40 years since my first marriage. Okay, so do it right. If you don't intend on marrying them, Negroes, man, keep your pants zipped up, man. Stop chasing them women if you don't have no intent in settling down. And hey, first of all, learn. I wonder if it has a lot to do with that, you stuck on self. I don't know. I'm just asking the question. But look, I think we've been here long enough. We're going to be out of here. We're going to listen. If there's anything I've said, if you agree with what I said, put it in the comment. If you disagree with what I said, put that in the comment too. But while you're there, go ahead on and smash that like button. Please do subscribe, and we appreciate you. Until the next time, thank you for visiting A Father's Note.